Moses and Jethro. Moses drove his chariot night and day. He passed the last Egyptian border outpost and continued into the desert until he came to the land of the Midianites, a tribe of nomads. Seeing a well nearby, he stopped to refresh himself and water his horses. As Moses sat beside the well, he saw a group of 7 young women approaching, herding a flock of sheep. The women drew water from the well for their animals. Before they finished, another group of shepherds appeared. These men did not wait for the women to finish. They pushed them aside, chasing them and their sheep from the well. Then they took the water that the young women had drawn and gave it to their own animals. Moses became angry. He scolded the shepherds for their selfishness. Although the men outnumbered Moses, his fearlessness and indignation frightened them. They took their sheep and fled. Yahweh, looking down from heaven, was pleased. Moses had passed an important test. He showed himself willing to stand up for the weak and oppressed, even when they were not his own people. He also controlled his temper, for he did not use violence against the shepherds or threaten them in any way. After the shepherds withdrew, Moses drew water for the 7 young women. He labored in the hot sun, pulling up bucket after bucket until even the smallest lamb had drunk its fill. These 7 young women were daughters of a prominent Midianite named Jethro. When they returned home, they told their father how an Egyptian stranger had driven away the bullying shepherds and drawn up water for their flocks. "Where is this man?" Jethro asked his daughters. "How could you leave him standing beside the well after he did so much to help you? Go back, invite him to our home to share our bread with us." Jethro's daughters brought Moses back to their father's tent. Moses remained with Jethro for many years. He married Jethro's oldest daughter, Zipporah. In time they had a son. Moses named him Gershom, which means, "I was a stranger there." Even though the Midianites accepted Moses as a member of their own tribe, he still felt like a stranger. His ties to his own people remained strong. Moses knew that their sufferings would never end as long as they remained slaves to the Egyptians. The burning bush. The time of redemption was approaching. A new Pharaoh took his place on the throne of Egypt. He was even more cruel than his predecessor. He increased the labor of the children of Israel and doubled their punishment. The Israelites cried out to Yahweh for help. Their prayers rose to heaven. This time, Yahweh was ready to answer. Meanwhile, Moses still tended Jethro's flocks in the desert country surrounding a mountain known as Horeb, or Sinai. One day he noticed a burning bush. This was not unusual. The desert country was filled with dry bushes that caught fire when struck by lightning. However, Moses noticed something strange about this bush. Flames danced on every branch, but the bush was not consumed. Moses approached to examine this curious sight. Suddenly, he heard a still, small voice speaking to him from out of the bush. "Moses," he answered. "Here I am." "Do not come closer. Take off your sandals. You are standing on holy ground." Moses slipped the sandals from his feet and stood barefoot on the earth. The voice spoke again. "I am the God of your forefathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Moses drew his cloak across his face. He realized that Yahweh himself was speaking to him. The voice continued, "I have seen the sufferings of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries and felt their misery. I will rescue my people from the Egyptians and bring them to a rich land flowing with milk and honey. Go now, for I am sending you back to Egypt to deliver the children of Israel." Moses gasped. "Who am I that I should go before Pharaoh and tell him to release my people?" "Do not be afraid of Pharaoh," Yahweh said. "I will be with you." "But what will I tell the children of Israel when they ask who sent me? What will I say when they ask your name? I am who I am, said Yahweh. Say to the children of Israel, I am sent me. Gather the elders of Israel together. Tell them that the God of their forefathers has sent you to bring them out of Egypt. Go before Pharaoh. Tell him to allow my people 3 days of liberty to worship me in the desert. Pharaoh will deny your request. Then I will put forth my hand and strike Egypt with wonders never seen. Pharaoh will release you after that. You will go forth in freedom. Moses was still reluctant to do as Yahweh asked. What if no one believes me? What do you have in your hand? Said Yahweh. My shepherd's staff. Throw it on the ground. Moses threw his staff on the ground. It turned into a snake. Moses drew back in surprise. Do not be afraid. Reach down and take it by the tail. Moses reached down. As soon as he grasped the snake's tail, it became a wooden rod again. What if they still don't believe me? Asked Moses. Yahweh told Moses to put his arm under his cloak. When he drew it out, it was covered with the white sores and scabs of leprosy. Put your arm back under your cloak, said Yahweh. Moses did. When he drew it out again, his skin was smooth and clean. If they do not believe the first sign, show them the second, said Yahweh. If they still do not believe, take a cup of water from the Nile, pour it on the ground. The water will turn to blood. In spite of these miraculous signs, Moses still did not want to return to Egypt. Oh, Yahweh, why send me? I am not a speaker. Words come slowly to me. My tongue trips and stammers. Who gives human beings a mouth? Who determines if a person can or cannot speak, or can or cannot hear, can or cannot see? It is I, Yahweh alone. Go now. I will be your mouth. I will teach you what to say. Moses continued to hold back. Please, Yahweh, send someone else, anyone but me. Yahweh grew impatient with Moses. Remember your brother Aaron. He helped your mother and sister hide Hebrew babies from the Egyptian soldiers. Aaron is not afraid of Pharaoh, and he is a good speaker. When you go down to Egypt, he will come to meet you. I will tell you what to say. You will tell Aaron. I will teach you both what to do. Do not forget to bring your staff with you. With it, you will perform signs and wonders before the Egyptians.